Hi, I'm Joshua Miller. I am the CEO and co-founder for Epique Realty, and I'm really excited today because today we're launching something new. We're launching Epique Life, and Epique Life has come about from every day. The best part of my job every day is we get these emails and we get these text messages that tell us all these amazing things that are happening in our agents' lives, and how Epic has affected that. It could be anything from our benefit with the free prescriptions or free childcare or even roadside assistance. It could be the free car washes even. But how Epic has helped our agents in their career, in their personal lives, and just holistically, it just helped them. And so we thought it would be amazing to be able to share that experience with everyone so people can kind of see what's going on behind the scenes, the things that we are privy to every day, the kind of the cool people we get to meet, the cool stories we get to hear. And I'm really excited today because I get to talk to Miss Dawn Loding. Hi, Dawn.
Hi,
I'm
I'm
so
so excited.
Me too. Epic Life is just such a cool idea to kind of get some of these stories out there and let agents kind of express themselves and stuff. So I guess my question to you is, you really wanted to be involved in this, and I know you're really involved with the agents in general, right? As,
Yes.
area leader, someone who creates content, you have a lot of irons in the fire with Epic as well, but I know that this was something you were really, really amped about doing. And tell me why. Why was Epic Life so important to you?
Well, first of all, because Epic has changed my life so much. And as I was filling out the form to submit my submission for Epic Life and how it's changed my life, it's like it just all kind of flashed in front of me that we need to hear more stories. We need to hear more from the agents on what it's doing to change their lives because you hear it all the time. I hear it all the time. But how do we help more people? How do we get the word out that what you're doing, what we're all doing together, this revolution, it is truly changing people's lives. And so I knew that being the storyteller that I am, if you know me at all, you know that like my life is an open book. I've put it all out there because I feel like it's my life's purpose to share my story so that I could help others not have so much struggle.
Yeah.
So, being in real estate for 24 years now, that's a long time. And with a lot of it was a lot of, living in scarcity, fight or flight, and not living in abundance. And so just the opportunity to be in front of more agents really does, that's what I saw Epic Life doing. And I knew I had to be a part of it.
Absolutely. I know that there's, our goal, in starting Epic was we weren't franchise owners, we weren't territory owners for some big company. We were just regular agents, Janice,
Yeah.
just regular agents who felt like something really was missing in our own careers and our own relationship with our brokerages. And we kind of felt like pawns in someone else's game in a lot of ways. And we started looking for brokerages that actually did something, something that actually helped agents. And when we came up with this idea of Epic, the overarching idea was a company that works for the agent instead of the other way around. And what does that mean? And how can we affect real change? And one of the discussions was affecting change for people's businesses versus their personal life, and then affecting change in just our company or the entire industry. And what we wanted to do is we wanted to completely change the industry, not just our company. And we wanted to help agents holistically. So a good example of that is Janice, our co-founder and CFO, and her being a mother. She's 7 kids, and balancing that with being a real estate agent. And it was very interesting. She said something
Yeah.
funny that I know will resonate with a lot of moms who are also realtors. Is that it's very hard for her to show homes on the weekends. And that's when people want to see homes, but that's when your kids are home.
Yeah.
So how can we help women with that? Agents are independent contractors. They don't get health care. They don't get dental. They don't get vision. They don't get any kind of benefits whatsoever. And the benefits from other brokerages aren't really benefits. They're tools for you to do them yourself. And so we were like, well, how do we change that and not have tools, but have real helpful things that help people in their daily life, help them, help their kids, help their spouses,
Yeah.
and help them every day. So I thought that was kind of a cool way. But you've been in the industry for 24 years. Tell me about what you've seen, the what the epic difference is, like, between us and other brokerages you've been around for, 2.5 decades. What have you
Yeah.
seen? And
Yeah, I've been at some pretty big brands. I'm not a what they call jumper because I've never been at one for less than 5 years, but I was at KW for 5 years. I was at EXP for 7 years, and my journey at all of them, I feel really gave me the tools, gave me the experience. I learned a lot. I love them all. Like I have nothing bad to say about any of the other brokerages that are out there. But what Epic has done and what we have put together here is kind of like an all-inclusive. Like we have all of these benefits. You take what you want, use what you want, but you have access to all of it. We are a whole life kind of thing. Like we have all the tools to help you with your business. We have all of the tools to help you with your personal life. I've never seen anything like it. And I think that, one of the benefits that I think is the best is like the AI, that we're an AI brokerage that's, I feel like that's taking us into the future of where the real estate brokerages are going. All of this other stuff is like just the following, the lag, not the lead. The lead is like jump on board here because they know what they're doing and they know where we're going and they have your best interest in mind. So it's kind of like just all of that put together was one of the main reasons why I said yes. And I didn't say yes lightly. Like I had a downline, I had agents, I had a business. I thought I was going out with my last brokerage. I thought that was where I was going to retire. But when I saw what you were doing, I knew that I needed to hitch my trailer to the right racehorse that was going to take me across the finish line. And that's exactly what I've done. And it's been the ride of my life. I've never dreamed after being in this business for this long that I would be so excited to be a part of creating something for the next generation of realtors.
yeah, so you mentioned that the AI and everything else being kind of, supportive in that way. I've noticed something in different industries. I noticed that if you're at a tech company, you're at like a Google or an Apple, you get different benefits than when you are working at, like, like a bank
Yeah.
or a financial institution. They do have different kinds of benefits. And we hear about these crazy benefits that you would get if you worked at like an Apple or a Google or something. And I feel like Epic really represents almost like a true tech company in that way. Tech companies really have the absolute best structures for benefits for
Yeah,
their people.
definitely.
Yeah.
Well,
But yeah, go ahead.
Well, and I think that it's really important to notice what you just said too, that tech, like we are a tech company.
Mhm.
Real estate is a tech company moving forward. And I knew that back in like 2012. I remember I used to wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning
And log
because
into MySpace.
no, funny, Josh, not MySpace. I'm not that bad, not that old. I am that old, but I back in like 2012, that's when the internet really started doing the internet lead generation stuff. And I took a class that was from a lady at my one of my former brokerages, but she taught me about blogging and how to do blogging to get leads and how to do all of that. I didn't have any time in my day. I had to wake up from 3 to 5 in the morning to work on that a few days a week. And so I did. My husband thought I was crazy. I would get up, get on my computer, and I would have my coffee and I'm not joking, like 3, 4 in the morning to do that because I knew technology was the future of my real estate business. And if I didn't get on the technology bus, I was going to be left behind, train. If I didn't get on the technology train, I was going to get left behind. And so I did that. And I saw that when I joined my previous brokerage, and I saw that when I joined you. And I knew that I was going to be able to retire here because some of our benefits offer amazing retirement. that we do not have at other brokerages. And so this model, it works, and I'm living proof of it.
Well, that's amazing. You mentioned earlier about you were living at some point in kind of a scarcity mindset, and
Yes.
so where a lot of agents probably don't haven't necessarily heard that term, scarcity mindset versus an abundance mindset. And so, can you talk a little bit about that and how Epic has influenced your, mindset about growth and abundance?
Wow, I didn't expect that question. So, yeah, I mean, scarcity mindset is a lot. And when you start to realize that you do not have the life that you want, you have to create it. And when you do that, you start searching for why are you where you are? So I had to really do that. And what I learned was that I lived in this fight or flight mode from my childhood, from my earlier years in my life. I wasn't living an abundant life. I lived in scarcity. It was about how am I going to rob from Peter to pay Paul? It was, how am I going to survive this day? When my feet hit the ground in the mornings, it was more of a, oh my gosh, how am I going to get through this day? When I started studying that and learning why my brain and those loops in my brain talked about scarcity and why, even though it wasn't like that, I was doing tons of deals. I had a successful business the whole time. Like the truth, that was not the truth. So instead, I started thinking about abundance and I started studying abundance. And I took courses, I took classes, like, I could be a college professor on abundance at this point in my career. I expected better things. I put it out there that I was going to receive better things. And that's what I've done. And it's so funny because I was taking a class in 2 years ago, right before I found Epic, on abundance. And Epic, when it came in, I was like, wait, here's the prayer I've been searching for. Here's the answer to the prayer I've been saying. I'm not going to miss this. This is my chance. And I'm going to take it. And I did. And I just expect abundance from that point on. And it's really hard for people to put the negativity into my mindset because I just don't allow it. And when you don't allow it and you only expect the good things and the abundance, then that's what you receive and that's what you see. And that's what your world starts to become.
Yeah, I always think of when I think of a scarcity mindset, I usually think of this idea that there's a zero-sum game out there. If somebody else gets a client, that's a client you didn't get.
Yep.
If someone else has a successful closing, that's commission you didn't earn. If and now, as you know, an owner, it's if another brokerage launches a new tool or they have a great year, that's a great year. But what you quickly realize as you get deeper into a growth mindset is that success is not a zero-sum game, and
Yep.
that there's enough success for everyone. And if you want it, you can achieve it. You really
Yeah.
can achieve success, and someone else's success does not take away from your success and your ability.
Absolutely. And, we are all independent contractors who have started a small business.
Mhm.
And all we're doing is we're all doing the same thing. We're creating our brand, we're creating our story, we're building our audiences with our influence. Like we don't have to be an influencer to all or even many, only to our audience that we choose. And Epic gives us the tools to do that. And
Yeah.
so it's just really having the right tools on your tool belt, and you provide that. Like you literally have provided enough tools for my tool belt that my belt's fallen off. Like I have to take some off and choose to use which ones are really going to work for my business or where I am right now. But it's just getting clarity and choosing. You get to choose. One thing we get to do every single day, all day long, is choose differently.
Yeah. Do you think that so, we released at our last event, PowerCon, we talked about Epic's company journey and how the average Epic agent sells 2 to 3 times more homes than
Yeah.
agents at other cloud brokerages. And I want to get your take on that. Is it just the tools? Like what where do you see it? Why are we excelling like that?
I mean, it's a combination of several different things. The tools do help, but I think the number one thing at Epic is our community. One of the things that I teach in my Freedom to Flourish stuff is that your communities. What are your communities? The culture, the community, the people you surround yourself with. Our leaders here are I mean, it's just a vibe that I can't even begin to describe because it's so powerful. And I've been at the leadership retreats. I mean, you guys invest so much in your leaders. So the communities that we're building to help educate our agents on how to use the tools. I mean, we haven't even mentioned Epic Essentials. I mean, what we provide for our agents is like no other. Our communities, I think, is the glue that holds Epic together. It's what you guys believe in our agents, our leaders, and our people.
I've heard this before that you joined for the benefits, but you
Yeah.
stayed for the culture.
Yep.
And I definitely believe that. How would you, if you could describe our culture in like, I don't know, 3 words, what would you say it's like being at Epic?
Oh, 3 words that describe our culture.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh. Um, Abundant,
Hmm.
caring,
Hmm.
and undescribable. Like it's literally it's something I have yearned for my entire career and
Hmm.
I have never found at any other community like I have at Epic. And I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yeah. I would describe it in 4 words, no agent
Okay.
left behind.
Oh, no agent left behind.
I really do think, and even some of our agents have
Yeah.
created a smaller group called that based on that philosophy. But the idea was that I think as agents, I felt like I was on an island. I'm sure
Yeah.
you have. I think every agent at some point has felt like they're on an island. And how do we not make people feel that way? How do we build a company where people don't feel like they're on an island? I think that was really important.
Yeah, we give them the space. That's what Epic Essentials was all about, was to create that space. So every day an agent, any agent at Epic had a place to plug into to where they could find that community and find all of that stuff that we just talked about. And we have that on Epic Essentials every single day.
I love it.
I do too,
As
Josh.
we as we wrap things up, is there any last points you want to make?
Um, no, really, I mean, I'm going to be leading the whole Epic Life journey and doing these videos and finding out the agent stories. So plug into epiclife.com and fill the form out. We would love to hear how Epic is changing your life.
I love it. Thanks so
Um,
much, Dawn. Thank you for sharing your story. It's been amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. See ya. Bye.
All right.